I chose gouache as my craft. I loved how tangible it is and how flexible it is in usage. Like a watercolor and acrylic baby. I started back in elementary, wanting to add color to my drawings that gave me the freedom to choose whether I wanted it textured or not. But growing up, I was always a logical person, despite being quote unquote artistic. I needed a reference, a hyperfixation, a purpose, just to make art. Without that, I always felt my work was way below mediocre. It felt unconnected, empty. Weeks turned to months and months turned into years. I eventually realized that painting with gouache felt more like a chore. It didn't help that the paints would either get moldy from disuse or dry up completely, both of which took hours to fix before I could even start painting again. So, I switched to digital art. It was portable, inexpensive in the long run, no more spending my own pocket money on materials, and frankly just easier to deal with. But staring at the screen too long gave me headaches. And now that I'm an online student, everything I do is already digital. For this course, I was faced with an ancient hobby of mine. But here came the hard part, starting again. When I tried, I felt stuck. There were so many challenges that seemed small, but were actually the foundations of art making. I always found myself lacking direction. I couldn't identify my passion. I didn't know what to paint. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. You can even see how I'd often just block out shapes and silhouettes trying to figure out what I was interested in. But then I realized I was repeating the same problems again. Perfectionism. It really was my evil, and still is now. So I changed my approach. I made my sketchbook a reflection of myself, a diary in a way. I started writing the questions that plagued my mind. Why do I lack creativity? What do I like? And there it was. I realized I'd been doing things all wrong. I was painting things I thought people expected from a good artist. Good anatomy, perfect colors, hot honks. But that's not me. That's not what I like. That's not who I am. Well, I do like hot honks though. I like ice. I like horror. I like liminal spaces and creepy pastas. I like weird. Art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. So, how would I evaluate my progress? I think the biggest shift is this. I'm not lost anymore. Before, I was just creating for the sake of meeting some imaginary standard. What a good artist should be, what people might find impressive, or what I thought would be acceptable. But now, I'm creating because I actually want to. I finally understand that art shouldn't have to be perfect or pleasing to others. It just has to be honest. Now, I know what I like, and I've stopped apologizing for it. I like eyes, horror, weird textures, and things that make people feel a little unsettled. And instead of pushing those things aside, I now center them. I've shifted from trying to fix my art to actually exploring myself through it. I've also built better habits. I no longer pressure myself to finish something perfectly. I draw what I feel even if it's messy. I try my best to paint what I actually want, to treat my sketchbook as a space for play, exploration, and reflection, not judgment. So, yes, I do what I want with intent. And to me, that's real progress. not just technically, but mentally and emotionally. And isn't that the point of art? To express, to explore, to exist without needing permission?